Now, if you've been online lately, you've definitely seen videos from this channel called Zack D Films. He basically uses CGI-style clips to explain everyday stuff in a way that's really engaging and just fun to watch. And not going to lie, his numbers are crazy. Like, he's pulled in around 67 billion views across his videos. And that kind of got me thinking, what if we could recreate something like that using AI? Especially now that we've got these newer, way more advanced models. So after weeks and weeks of testing and figuring things out, I finally found a pipeline that lets you do exactly that. And just to show you, check this out.
When you shave or wax, the new hair can curl sideways and trap itself under your skin. As it grows, your body sees it as an invader, and skin around it turns red and swollen. White blood cells rush in and form a pus-filled bumple. A doctor can release it with a sterile needle, letting it grow normally.
I made this video in like 20 minutes using the same process. Alright, so in this course, I'm going to walk you through everything step by step on how to create videos like this from scratch. We're going to cover how to start your own channel, how to brand it, how to get your script, how to animate your visuals, and how to pull everything together so it actually looks good. So this is literally the full package. Now, to make things a bit more interesting, I've set myself a challenge. I'm going to try to use free tools throughout this entire process. So if you're watching this and you don't want to spend money, you're in the right place. I'll show you the results you can get using completely free tools, and I'll also show you what things look like when you use more advanced models. That way you can compare both and decide which route you want to take. And don't worry, this works across any device. Whether you're on mobile or desktop, you'll still be able to create videos like this. Alright, let's get started. The very first thing you're going to need is access to the master prompt that we're using to automate this entire workflow. You'll find it in the description or in my free community. Once you've got it, just hit Ctrl+A to select everything and copy it. Now, the next thing you need is a chatbot because we need a brain to power this whole process. You can use DeepSeek if you're on a completely free plan, or you can use Claude. Both work. I'm going to use Claude for this course because it handles structured, creative work really well. So I'll paste in the prompt I just copied and send it. Once I send the prompt, Claude sets itself up to understand exactly what kind of content we're trying to make. Now all I have to do is type start. When I send that, Claude gives me the full branding kit for my channel. Channel name, channel description, prompts to generate the logo, prompts to generate the banner, all of it. Really clean. We'll come back to the channel creation later. Right now, let's get straight into making the video, so I'll just type next and send it. Now Claude gives me a list of suggested video titles I could build my video around. Stuff like how eyelashes protect your eyes, why your tongue heals so fast, how a blister forms. Basically the kind of topics you'd see on the model channel. All you got to do is pick one. For this course, I'm going with idea number 4, which is about ingrown hair. So I'll type 4 and send it. Now Claude asks how long I want the script to be. The default is 30 seconds since shorts are quick. I'm going to set mine to 35 seconds, but you can make yours longer if you want. Send it and Claude writes a script that fits perfectly within that time frame based on the topic we picked. The script comes out clean. If you want to save it somewhere, copy it into a Google Doc, but for now I'll just type next. When I type next, Claude asks if I have a visual flow in mind for the storyline. Now, in order to fully understand what a visual flow is, let's quickly look at the model channel. If you watch how Zack D Films presents his content, every video starts with a specific visual hook, follows a clear camera movement, and uses subtle transitions as the visual changes. For example, in his video about how stitches work, the camera starts on an injured foot, the foot gets threaded, a scissor comes in to trim the thread. And then the camera holds on the injury as a time lapse takes it from fresh to fully healed. That whole sequence from the opening shot to the final frame is the visual flow. Now, one really cool thing about Seedance is that it lets you prompt multiple shots in a single generation. Which means you can map out a full sequence and Seedance will deliver it as one clean clip. Just keep in mind, Seedance has a cap of 15 seconds per generation. So if your script is 30 seconds long like mine is, you'll need 2 batch generations stitched together to cover the full length. For me, what I did was split my flow into 2 chapters. Chapter 1 is a 15-second sequence, and Chapter 2 is another 15-second sequence. Let me walk you through Chapter 1 real quick. Flow 1 is the opening. I want skin to be shown with hair clearly visible, camera locked in, breeze blowing through the frame. Flow 2, a razor enters the scene and cuts the hair, simulating a shave. Flow 3, the trim shaft starts to regrow. And Flow 4, the skin shows the hair pushing back into itself, which kicks off the ingrown sequence. That's how I mapped out the first half. Chapter 1 has 8 flows total, and Chapter 2 has another 8. Now, this level of detail is just my preference. I like having a creative touch on every video, but you don't have to go this deep. If you give Claude even a rough sketch of how you want the sequence to play out, it'll still give you very detailed prompts to use with Seedance. And if you don't have a flow in mind at all, you can just ask Claude to write one for you based on the script and it'll handle it. Once your flow is ready, copy it, head back to Claude, paste it in, and let it know this is the visual flow for my scenes. After a couple of seconds, Claude maps out the entire prompt, gives you every single detail you need to generate your visuals, and everything syncs up cleanly with the visual flow you provided. The output looks like this, clean, structured, and ready to drop straight into Canva. Alright, so now that we've got our prompt, the next thing we need is a platform to actually generate our footage. Now, if you're using free tools, you can go with Google Flow. Just keep in mind the results are not going to be anywhere close to what you get with Seedance. So, if you've got a couple bucks to spare, I'd honestly recommend using Higsfield. So I'm going to head over to Higsfield, sign in, and then click on the Videos tab. That's going to take me straight to their video interface. Now, once you're here, you'll see a bunch of different models you can use. If you scroll down to the model section and click it, you'll see options like Seedance 2, Happy Horse, Grok, and a few others. I'm going to go ahead and pick Seedance 2. All right. Once that's done, head back over to Claude, scroll up to your Chapter 1 prompt, and just copy everything in that section. Now, one thing you should know is that this prompt is very detailed. It doesn't just guide the visuals. It also specifies the voiceover that should be used in your video. So if you want to change the speaker's accent or switch up the voice, you can absolutely do that. It even suggests a specific background color for your animation. And if you're comfortable with prompting, you can tweak a lot of these elements to get exactly the style you want. But if you're not too familiar with all that, don't worry. You can simply copy your Chapter 1 prompt, head over to Higsfield, paste it in, and you're good to go. Once you've pasted it in, you'll also see an option to select the duration of your video right there. All right. So for the duration, you can pick anywhere from like 2 seconds all the way up to about 15 seconds. Then you've got your aspect ratio. If you're making shorts, go with 9:16. But if you're going for a long-form video, just switch that over to 16:9. Now, for the quality, this part matters. I'm going to choose 720p because I don't want to waste credits. From what I've seen, the higher the resolution, the more credits it eats up. So yeah, I'll stick with 720p and then just hit generate. Once your footage is done, you can always upscale it later using whatever software you prefer. It's just a smart way to save credits while still getting a clean final result. Now, after a few seconds, you should end up with an output that looks something like this. If you play it, you'll notice it follows the exact animation style we're going for. And overall, it looks really solid.
The new hair can curl sideways and trap itself under your skin. As it grows, your body sees it as an invader, and skin around it turns red and swollen.
Since this looks good, I'm just going to download it. Then I'll head back to my chatbot, scroll down to the Chapter 2 prompt, copy it, and paste it straight into Higsfield. All right, give it a few seconds. And now we've got our next output.
White blood cells rush in and form a pus-filled bumble. A doctor can release it with a sterile needle, letting it grow normally.
And not going to lie, this one looks really good as well. All right, now here's something really important. Try to keep a consistent voice across all your videos. It makes your channel feel a lot more professional and polished. Now, with the method I just showed you where Canva generates both the visuals and the voiceover, it's actually pretty hard to maintain that consistency. The main issue is you can't really control or predict which voice Canva is going to use each time, but here's the good part. On Higsfield, you've got a workaround for that. When a video is generated, just click on the 3 dots icon and you'll see an option to change the voice. Now when you click on Change Voice, Higsfield pops up this little window where you can pick whatever voice you want for your video, which is honestly really cool. And here's the nice part. You can even clone your own voice. So instead of dealing with random voices every time, you just pick your voice, hit Change Voice, and it swaps it in. It only costs like 3 credits, and now the whole video sounds like you. So I'm going to do that for both of my clips just to keep everything consistent. It's a small trick, but trust me, it makes your channel feel way more high quality. All right, now we've got the 2 new outputs and the voice has been changed. So I'm just going to preview both of them to make sure everything still feels consistent across the video.
When you shave or wax, the new hair can curl sideways and trap itself under your skin. White blood cells rush in and form a pus-filled bumble. A doctor can release it with a sterile needle.
Now, once you've downloaded your clips for me, I'm making a 30-second short. I only need 2 batches of Seedance generation. If your video is longer, you can always work with multiple batches depending on your structure. In my case, my chatbot only gave me 2 chapters. So what I need to do now is simply combine those chapters inside an editing software and then upload it to YouTube. The good thing is everything is already synced up for me with Canva. I don't need to manually align voiceovers or sound effects because that's already handled during generation. So I'm just going to head over to my editing software. I'm using CapCut for this. Click on New Project and I should land on an interface that looks like this. Alright, so once I'm in the editing interface, I'm just going to click Import. Bring in the 2 clips I generated and drag them onto the timeline. There's not really much editing to do here. I can just select both clips and maybe bump up the speed a little bit so everything feels more punchy. Then I'll just export the video. Now remember, we generated everything in 720p to save credits on Higsfield, so I'm going to export it in 720p as well. After that, we'll look at ways to upscale it so the final video looks even higher quality. Now, just a quick note, Wings AI costs about $10, but it's a one-time payment, not a monthly subscription. And honestly, if you're serious about content, having an upscaler really helps. But you can also find other tools online if you don't want to use this one, even if they add a watermark. And yeah, that's basically it. We're done with the whole creation process. Now let me quickly show you how to set up and run your channel. Alright, so for branding, if you scroll all the way to the top of your Claude chat, you'll see a few channel name ideas it gave you. So just pick one you like, copy it, go to YouTube, click Create New Channel, paste the name in, and then hit Create. That's it. Now, if you already have your own name ideas, you don't even need AI for this part. But if you like what Claude suggested, just use one of them and move on. After that, we just need to brand the channel properly. So we'll add a description, a logo, and a banner. Alright, so for branding, I like using Canva. I'm just going to go over there, sign in with my Google account, and a free account is honestly enough for this. Once you're in, just click the plus icon at the top left and search for logo. Canva will show you a bunch of templates. Just pick the one meant for a YouTube channel logo. When you click it, it opens a blank canvas like this where you can start designing from scratch. And from here, you can really just get as creative as you want. But for me, I usually like to keep things very minimal. So what I'm going to do is just use text and write the channel name, which is Faceless. The full channel name is actually Faceless the Sketches, which is a bit of a weird name, but it still works for what we're doing. So I'll just type Faceless. Then change the font to something clean and minimalistic, and increase the size slightly so it stands out nicely. Now, you can also explore a few elements on the side in Canva. Just go to the Elements tab and search for different icons you might want to add to your design. Actually, I think I've changed my mind here. I'm going to use a gear icon as the main logo instead. Then I'll reduce the text size and place it just underneath the icon so it all feels balanced. And honestly, that already looks really clean and simple. I think I'll just go ahead and export this as my final logo, something minimalistic and professional. Alright, so once I'm done with the logo, the next thing is the banner. I'll just go back to the plus icon, search for banner, and pick the YouTube banner template. That opens a blank canvas where I can start designing. Now, banners are a bit tricky because YouTube doesn't show them the same way on every device. It crops different parts depending on whether someone is on a phone, laptop, or TV. So basically, someone on mobile might see a small section, while someone on TV sees the full thing. That's why you need a proper template to guide you so you know exactly where to place everything. Now, luckily, I already have this template saved in my workspace. If you want it, you can grab it from the link in the description or in my free community. So I'm just going to drop the template into Canva, right-click it, and set it as the background image. Now here's the key part. You want to place your important info inside the red highlighted area. That red line is the universal safe zone. So anything inside there will show up for everyone, whether they're on mobile, desktop, or TV. The full banner is what people see on TV, but the white rectangle area is mostly what shows up on desktop. So once you understand that, it becomes way easier to design your banner properly and make sure nothing important gets cut off. For me, I like to keep things minimal. So I'm just going to add a simple text that says subscribe. Then I'll increase the font size and adjust everything so it fits nicely and looks clean. After that, I'll add the gear icon again since it's part of our design now and place it into the layout. Next, I'll click on the color wheel and switch the banner background to white because at this point, we don't really need the template layout anymore. We've already used it as a guide. And this is what the final banner looks like. So I'll just download it and head over to YouTube to upload the new design. Now, one important thing you should understand is that when you're building a brand, it's always best to keep a consistent color palette across everything: your logo, banner, and even thumbnails. That's exactly why my logo and banner use the same color. It just helps everything feel more unified and professional. So I'm going to go to my YouTube channel, click Customize Channel, upload the logo I created, and then also upload the channel banner. Now, for the description, you want to keep it really simple. A lot of beginners make the mistake of writing these long paragraphs or stories about their channel. But honestly, it should just be short and punchy, something someone reads and instantly gets what you do. Luckily, Claude already gave us a suggestion for this, and it even gave a couple of variants we can pick from. I think I like variant 1, which says, I make 3D animations that explain how everyday stuff works. New video every week. That's perfect. So I'm just going to copy it, paste it into the description box, maybe throw in an emoji, and then hit publish. Then I'll go back to the channel, refresh the page, and everything should look fully set up. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just showed you how to create your channel, brand it, and make a video in the CGI documentary style niche.